Welcome everybody to MATLAB. We're going to start out with the first couple assignments in the MATLAB activities. We're going to do Hello World with MATLAB, the traditional first program everyone writes when they start a new programming language. We're going to go to mathworks.com. MathWorks is the company that created and maintains MATLAB. You'll go over here, you'll have a login thing. You want to log in with your WNCC edu email address and password you created when you set up your account. I'm already logged in. I'm going to click on MATLAB. MATLAB is available online. It's really just almost exactly like the program if you downloaded and installed it. You can download and install it to your computer. I'm going to be doing most of my demonstrations using the online version. One advantage of the online version is that as you create files, they go with you wherever you go. So here we are in the MATLAB interface. We want to first make sure that we have the files showing up. So this guy will bring up the files. I have some files here from last year, which I will probably delete at some point. Doesn't really matter. What we want to do after we've logged in, we've opened up MATLAB, we've made sure we have the files button open, we're going to create a new script. Everything in MATLAB is called a script. Every program is called a script. And one of the first things I always do when I'm working on anything is save it. So I don't want to have to redo anything. So I'm going to go save. And notice it's in my MATLAB online. Well, I've already created this file, but you would type in Wk01, whatever your last name is, .m. M is the extension for a MATLAB script file. So you click save. It's going to replace mine because I already have one. And there it is. It shows the name of my file. It gives me a 1 for the first indicator, the first line. Now, when you're doing things in MATLAB, you're going to have executable code. You're also going to have comments. And so we're going to start out the top of our program by using a percentage mark, which is kind of unusual for a comment, but that is what it is. So I'm going to put my name up here. Bill Loring. I'm going to put in, I'm used to doing pound signs. I'm going to put in what the file name is, which is Wk01 Loring.m. That should do it. Now in the instructions it mentions putting in a separator. Sorry, I mean a section break. We're going to have multiple programs in here, so we want to make sure that each one of them is separated so we can run them one at a time. Well, I don't need a section break here because this is my first program. So the Hello World program is very simple. DISP is the command in MATLAB that displays information to the console, or in this case to the command window is what it's called. We put a parenthesis around it. And as with most programming languages, when you want to display a string, text, something you can't calculate with, you type it in between double quotes. So we're going to do Hello MATLAB World. So now we have learned how to print something to the console. Well, we haven't printed it yet. We just typed in the code. So how do we run the code? Well, one way is to go right up here and click Run. And there it is. It prints out Hello MATLAB World. So far, so good. We've got Hello World successfully done. When you submit this, as you work through this, you're going to get all this information in your command window. Later on at the end, you're going to copy and paste this into a file so I can see that you actually ran your code. You're also going to attach this file to that, and we'll go through that in one of the later videos. All right, let's go ahead and quit for now, and we'll come back with the next one. Oh, before we do that, let's go ahead and put in our section break. That's this guy up here. That means that now this is a second program. This is going to be practice 1.1. So now we can work on this one separately. And while I'm talking about it, we may as well do practice 1.1. So practice 1.1 is a very simple program. It works on what's called the order of operations. You remember PEMDAS and all that sort of stuff? Well, what you're going to do is put in, you don't have to put in the file name of your script or anything, but we're doing practice 1.1. So I've named that. So if I look at let me look at the problem here. So 1 divided by 2, no problem either. -5 with squared. Well, we have to figure out what comes first. So I'm going to pick this one. 10 minus 6 divided by 2. Well, what do you suppose the answer is going to be there? Well, what you want to write in is the 10 minus 6 divided by 2. Now, MATLAB can be used as a calculator. All right? And if we run this, it's going to give us the answer. Is that what you predicted? Well, 6 divided by 2 is 3 because this goes first, and 10 subtracting 3 gives you 7. Now, I always recommend when you're writing programming problems to always be specific. So you would put this in. That's my recommendation, to always put that in. And typically, if we're going to do an operation and display it, we're going to put in our display around it so it is more specific and we don't get those little squiggly error messages. Now we go ahead and run again and notice that it's running everything. Well, what if we don't want to run everything? Well, I'm down here with my cursor. I can run, where it is, run F5. Oh, there's a spot. Oh, there it is, run section. I knew it was around there somewhere. I can just run this section. And then it gives me the answer of 7. Okay, so you want to go through, we're just doing a little practice with order of execution. No, not order. Order of operations. That's what this one does. So remember, you can use MATLAB just like a calculator. You can type in stuff, run it, and it'll give you an answer. But if we want it to look nice, we want to use the display so it doesn't give us this answer equals. But it can be just used as a calculator. You can just type stuff in and away you go. Well, there was practice 1.1. Before I move on, I'm going to do a section break. There we go.